Hey, what's up, everybody? Jake here, and welcome to the hobby. I just want to make a quick announcement that I'm going to be traveling to Japan next year, and you guys are invited. If you'd like to join me on a travel trip to Japan, you can click down in the description to just click the link to see the whole entire itinerary on what we are going to be doing. And if you're interested, then sign up and join us on this trip. I'm going to let you in on a little secret, but we are probably going to be ripping open quite a few booster packs on this trip, as well as just going collectibles hunting. And just to make a quick promise, you are going to be walking away with some cool cards. There's no way you're going to be going on a trip with me and you don't walk away with some cool cards. I promise you that. I'm going to get you some cool stuff. So check it out if you're interested in traveling to Japan next year. So if you've been watching a lot of YouTube content or following content creators on Instagrams or TikTok or wherever else, you've probably seen a lot of people talking about how the prices on Pokemon cards are crashing right now. If you've been watching videos for the past couple weeks, and I follow a ton of other content creators because I just like to be really informed in the hobby, I can't stop seeing red lines, which means prices are dropping. And things are a little bit kind of sensational right now, and I just want to really ground us in reality on where the Pokemon card market is currently at, because to me, these do not look like good deals to me. These do not look like prices are crashing. These do not look like good opportunities for me to just go out onto the street, go to card show and just scoop up a bunch of cards because prices are so cheap right now. Because that's what people are talking about. Prices are so much cheaper. And what will be typically shown is a graph of something like the Bubble Mew. This is a prime example, right? What they'll show is a zoom in graph of this little area right here. They'll show you the top price in September where the Bubble Mew was $700, and then they'll show you, oh, its current price is right around $600. So if you buy right now, it's way cheaper than where it was in September, right? But we all know if you just zoom out on that graph just a little bit, if you go just a little bit further out, you realize, oh, well, if you think about it, this card was $300 just 2 or 3 months ago. Suddenly, buying it at $600 doesn't seem that cheap anymore. Would you really buy this card at $600 if you know just 2 or 3 months ago it used to be $300? You probably wouldn't, because this doesn't look like that much of a crash. It barely looks like a correction. And that's what a lot of these sensational posts or thumbnails are showcasing, is just card prices crashing left, right, and center, when in reality, we're barely seeing a blip of a small correction in the market, which is fine, because there's no world where a card goes from being a $300 card to being a $700 card and stays that way. You know, that would be absolutely ridiculous. And it's normal for cards to correct. But if you were to look at this, I would not be picking up this card for $600 right now. That's just ridiculous. That's still way too expensive for the Bubble Mew. If you want to pick it up, you can, but I wouldn't. So I wanted to share with you guys what is the most important thing on every collector's mind. And that is the price of sealed products, specifically the prices on booster box, because the whole entire market hinders on the price of booster boxes. Regardless of how much I tell people to collect singles, and regardless of how much everyone knows that collecting singles is the best way to just get the most bang for your buck, you can just get way more value from spending $240 buying singles than you would ever get from ripping open a Scarlet and Violet booster box, something of that nature. Regardless of what I think in terms of how that is much of a better deal, people still care about the prices on booster boxes, and it makes sense. We want products. People want sealed products. People want to be able to rip open booster packs. People want to be able to enjoy sealed products. So the cheapest booster boxes, or the price of booster boxes, really gauges the health of the hobby. More than anything else, the prices on sealed products, specifically booster boxes, measures the health of the hobby. And you look at the price on booster boxes right now, the absolute cheapest booster boxes you can find on the secondary market, on TCG Player, on eBay, wherever else, is floating at around $230 to $240 per booster box. And that is the cheapest booster box of any Pokemon card set, any English Pokemon card set, $220 to maybe like $240. And that's as best of a deal as you can get. And in no world do I think $220 to $240 for the cheapest booster box possible is a good indicator of the market crashing. That to me is still a heavily inflated market. There's no world where $240 for the cheapest booster box is a sign or indicator that the market is crashing in any way. Talk to me when booster box prices are sub $200. Talk to me when prices are 180 to like 160 for a booster box. Then we're talking. Now prices might be really seriously slumping. But as long as sealed products, specifically booster box prices, are expensive, that to me means the market is still like really seriously in a bubble. We got ourselves Scarlet and Violet booster boxes currently going for right around $240. This time last year, they were floating at around $100, and I recall that because I remember for last Black Friday, I told a bunch of viewers, hey, if you can find any Scarlet and Violet base booster boxes going for below $100, and there were places that were selling them for around $80 to $90 a booster box during Black Friday. Fantastic deal. I actually love Scarlet and Violet base. I think it's a fantastic set. Paldea Evolve. Paldea Evolve is still very expensive. This time last year, it was floating at around $130 to $140, and it went all the way up to close to $500 a booster box. And recently, it's gone back down to right around $400 a booster box, and that's mainly on rumors of Paldea Evolve booster boxes being restocked early next year, around January to February. Up to you how strong of a rumor that is. But if you really look at the Paldea Evolve chart, these climbs and dips happen consistently. As it climbs in value, it just slowly has little periods of peaks into slumps, into peaks, into slumps, into peaks, into slumps. So I'm not surprised by this for Paldea Evolved at all, but $400 is not cheap. Obsidian Flames is actually a really weak set if you look at the cards inside of it. Even the most expensive illustration rares aren't that expensive. The top chase card is the Charizard, and again, the Charizard's not expensive. If you rip this box open and you pull 3 Charizards, maybe you get your value back. So really, there's no reason why you would ever rip open Obsidian Flames. And even then, it's still going for $300 a booster box, and you expect me to believe that the market is crashing? I don't care if the market crashed. I would love it if the market crashed. But I'm just being really serious and sensible, is that I don't see this as a market crash. Now here's an interesting one, but this one was also really ridiculous, which is Paradox Rift went to being over $300, and then it just went back down to where it should be, which is right around $240. Paradox Rift is probably equivalent to Temporal Forces, is equivalent to Scarlet and Violet base in terms of popularity, the cards inside of it, and how much people care about it. So it being this expensive just doesn't make sense. In fact, I think Obsidian Flames will probably drop back down to $240 because it's probably equivalent to Paradox Rift, Scarlet and Violet base. And that's a piece of opinion, so debatable whether you agree with that. Another one, Temporal Forces. If you look at this, I can't see this as the market crashing. Temporal Forces is not that crazy of a set. It's okay. It's an okay set. So should it really be $270? I think not. I don't think this set is that good. So it's up to you, but to me, this shows an inflated market. Until this drops back down to something reasonable, I just don't see it being that expensive. Again, Twilight Masquerade, going for right around $330. Twilight Masquerade is the same price as Obsidian Flames. In what world is Twilight Masquerade the exact same price as Obsidian Flames? Because I think Twilight Masquerade is a far better set than Obsidian Flames. If you have to have those two boxes and they're exact same price, I would pick Twilight Masquerade to rip open and enjoy over Obsidian Flames any day of the week. So again, that's just my opinion though. We got ourselves Stellar Crown. Again, a really strong climb. It's reaching close to $300. Where's this dip? Where's this dip? Is it this tiny little... If you look at the very top of the chart, you can see a tiny little dip down. Is that the market crash that everyone's talking about? Surging Sparks actually saw quite a dip, and that's mainly because it was actually restocked. Surging Sparks saw a solid restock of the Elite Trainer boxes specifically, but that does lower the price of Surging Sparks because it just gives people more options on where they can open up some booster packs, which is always good. Went to $300 and it went back down to $240. Again, I would rather open up a Surging Sparks booster box at $240 than rip open Temporal Forces or Obsidian Flames at $300. So right now, if we're looking at it purely from a cost value standpoint, Surging Sparks might be the best deal right now. If Surging Sparks is the exact same price as a Scarlet and Violet base booster box, I'd be ripping open Surging Sparks rather than any other set. Journey Together, currently going for right around $260. Still really expensive. Don't get me started on Destined Rivals. They really should remove this. At no point was Destined Rivals booster boxes ever $1,500 a booster box. I think this is data from the sealed cases getting thrown in. Collector should remove this because this is completely incorrect. There was no time when Destined Rivals boxes were going for $1,500. They should just remove this and it'll make the chart look significantly better in terms of true data. Destined Rivals peaked at around $500 a box and it dropped back down to right now it's going for $380. Still really expensive for a Pokemon card set that is literally 4 months old. 4, maybe 5 months old. And then we got ourselves Mega Evolution, which saw some serious roller coasters up and down. It's absolutely a little bit more down right now, which is solid. But that's mainly because Mega Evolution saw some serious restocked. But right now, even now, it's still going for $250 a booster box. For the latest Pokemon card set, for the set that people are ripping the most of right now, for the most readily available set, Mega Evolution is the most readily available set right now. And it's going for $250 a booster box. You can walk into any card shop in the US and find Mega Evolutions in store. They're not sold out, they're just priced really high, which is really annoying. Mega Evolution being $250 is not cool. So if I look at these prices, the absolute cheapest booster box you can find right now is $230. I don't see that as a market drop. I want these prices sub 200, 180, 160. Now we're talking about some serious drops. Stop giving me these fake charts where you zoom in on the Bubble Mew and you show this little dip right here from $700 down to $600 and calling it a market crash. You know, let's be legit here. You know, I want to see some real solid drops in the market before we start talking about prices normalizing. You know, stop giving people false hope. If there is hope out there, it's going to come, but this can't be the way that's going. So let me know what your thoughts are. Are we actually seeing prices dropping? Which is good. Prices are dropping in some serious area, especially around Black Friday, because this is going to be the largest stock of packs that we're going to see for the next 6 to 12 months, I think, until the upcoming anniversary set, which is the last big piece of serious news that's going to be coming down the pipeline. But until then, there's going to be a lot of products available during Black Friday. Yes, people are going to be fighting in the streets for some of it, which is unfortunate. Hopefully, it's not one of you guys. Feel free to stay indoors and buy some Pokemon cards online if you can. That's always a potential option. Thank you so much, and I'll see you guys next time.